My name is
Likewise.
Martin Einstein. I work for ESPN. How is it going?
Okay. No, it's fine. Just have had a very hectic past few weeks ever since the vote was made public. But otherwise, I'm fine.
Okay. Tell me to start the conversation.
Okay.
You were telling me that the last weeks have been very different from many perspectives, from many angles. What happened in your life after the Ballon d'Or ceremony?
Well, I've been getting two sets of people commenting on my socials, especially. A lot of them is obviously hate mail. They've been saying all sorts of things about, yeah, you don't know football, you are going to starve, you're from Africa, third world, what. I'm just like, no, it's fine. And then there are others who say, look, some said, I don't agree with your decision, but I respect it's your opinion. Others are saying, obviously, I made the right choice. So those have been the kind of people that have been interacting with me for a while now.
Were you surprised?
No, not at all, because look, when it comes to opinions, which is what a vote is, essentially, not everyone will agree with your point of view. That is fine. It's part of a democratic society. It's part of how a functioning community should be. You know, we can't all agree on the same things. And obviously our responses or our ideas are based on what we when you evaluate something based on the facts that are in front of you, you take a decision based on that. So someone will agree with you, other people will not agree, which is fine. It's the nature of our job as journalists anyways.
Are you surprised that time has passed by? 2 weeks after that, there was a speech from Real Madrid president Florentino Pérez going back to that night, pointing out the countries of the journalists that didn't vote for Vinicius Jr.
Well, look, that for me is unfortunate. Look, it's as if you're saying, and that is Mr. Perez now, that everyone should vote for his preferred candidate, right? And if you don't, then he's going to make disparaging remarks about where you come from, your background, what you know, what you don't know. According to him, I don't know how he knows what we know. But for me, it makes no sense, right? His opinion is that my opinion is not correct. But his opinion should be correct. Why?
Well, because he represents a big club of football in the world, right?
Of course, that is fair. But I also was contacted by the organizers of the Balón d'Or because they feel I have the capability and full understanding of what is going on. I mean, it's not my first time to vote. I've been doing this since 2012. So when players from Real Madrid or any other club have won, why was it not they don't know football? Now that the player from their club has not won, they don't know football. Why? Does it make sense?
I heard that the player that you have chosen as #1 was a Real Madrid player too, right? Jude Bellingham.
Precisely. And my reasoning is based on the criteria presented to me, right? I felt Jude Bellingham deserved to be top of my list. My list also includes Toni Kroos and Danny Carvajal. But for one or the other reason, I'm being attacked for apparently being anti-Real Madrid, which makes no sense. They have the most people on my list, on my top 10. So that argument is obviously that does not fly. The only issue here is, from my perspective though, is what I find strange is Jude Bellingham is Real Madrid's player of the season, if I'm not wrong. He's La Liga's player of the season. He went to the final with England at the Euros, and he was crucial during that entire time. Not just 1 or 2 games, the entire season. So that is what my vote was based on, because that was the criteria. Not 1 or 2 games in one or the other competition, the whole season. And that is why I chose Jude Bellingham and obviously Rodri is #2.
Sheefeni, you said the word attack. Did
Yeah.
you felt attacked by Florentino Perez?
No, not really. I just honestly feel, like I mentioned before, that he's probably frustrated that the player that they were pushing for Ballon d'Or for one or the other reason, and just like I said, why they're not pushing Bellingham, that is for me a more compelling argument. So maybe that's frustration from his point of view, that the player they have endorsed from either the club or himself or whoever to win the Ballon d'Or from their side did not win. So for me, it just sounds like frustration, really. I don't feel attacked. It's his opinion. He's entitled to it. The same way he should accept that when I vote, I will not vote because he said that particular player must be voted for. I vote for the player who, in my opinion, according to the criteria I received, is the best candidate. And in my opinion, the best candidate is Jude Bellingham.
He addressed in that speech some lines or some ideas that had to do with your country, with the number of people that live in your country. How do you feel about that?
See, now, if, and this is, I think, is a universal take on such a situation. When you are trying to bring across your point in an argument, not obviously a verbal or nasty argument, but when you want to advance your ideas, right? You don't become personal. You deal with facts. What does my country have to do with the fact that I voted for another player? So had I voted for the player he liked, would he have made the same remarks? That's my question. So where I come from is not a problem. The issue here is my footballing judgment is what he should be questioning, not where I come from, because that makes no sense. I mean, if we are being honest, most of these players also come from similar backgrounds as myself, right? So what makes him think that football is not a passion where I come from? Just because we don't have Namibian superstars doesn't mean we don't have Namibian players who come through a similar situation like Vinicius, a hard struggle to make it to wherever they are. So my understanding of football is not the issue here. The issue, I feel, is deflecting from the fact that he cannot accept that people view other players as having had a better campaign during that period than the player that he endorsed. That is the issue.
I ask you about the repercussions after the Ballon d'Or ceremony. Were there any repercussions after what Real Madrid president has said?
Repercussions in what sense?
I don't know, any.
No, apart from the people who are trolling my pages, no other repercussions. France Football, not so long ago, sent me an email to say thank you for being part of our jurors, and we hope to see you again next year. So they are obviously comfortable with the decisions I've made, and they're obviously comfortable enough to have asked me to do it time and again. If like I said previously, had I voted for a player for Vinicius, for example, and had I been from, say, for argument's sake, Argentina or whatever, would Mr. Perez still be saying the same thing? Or is it because he can't understand that there's a possibility people don't agree with his point of view?
Did you feel disrespected, I'm sorry.
By Mr. Perez, that is, or who?
Yes.
No, not at all. I'm not disrespected. I mean, like I said, it's his opinion. People are entitled to their opinions, right? You can't prescribe to him what to say or how to think or how to feel about the situation. It is unfortunate for me that he would want to belittle my country, my background, and that of the other journalists who did not vote or go according to Real Madrid script, you understand? So that for me is unfortunate. But whether I feel disrespected or attacked, no, I don't. I mean, I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I'm just someone doing my job.
Sheefeni, would you think Real Madrid should participate and attend to the next Balón d'Or gala? Will that be fair?
No, if they are invited to, like any other club, then they should. If they are not invited, then that's a different story. Also, alternatively, if they do not wish to partake in the competition anymore, right, then I'm sure they can inform the organizers to say, please don't consider our players for this award because we have this type of view about it. But for me, it's Real Madrid is the strongest and biggest club in Europe historically, right? So it would take away, I feel, from the competition if one of your best players, in this case it's Real Madrid, are not part of the game. So for me, they should be part of the competition again. But if they don't feel that they should be considered for it, that is entirely up to them. But then again, it comes back to the question: should every year should it be a Real Madrid player that should win? If not, then it means people don't know football. Why is that there? Why is that the narrative?
Lastly, and thank you for this contact. I know you're having a busy days right now. Personally, how do you feel with?
Yeah, it's like if you are playing a cup final and the other team wins, and you as the losing team decide to walk off the pitch and go in the change room. That is not sportsmanship. That is not the spirit of football or sport in any way. You should applaud other people when they do well. Because when you were doing well, they were applauding you. So what's the difference now? You can't be entitled to an award. It's not yours. If it's yours, then you must organize it yourself and give it to yourself. But in the case where other people are expected to give their opinions and render a decision based on whatever facts they have before them, you can't then go and say it's biased, it's corrupt, it's unfair. But you can't decide for people how to vote. They have their own brains. Do you understand? So in that essence, Real Madrid can't boycott the awards whenever they don't win. That is not fair. So then it means every time they win, other clubs should do exactly the same thing. Now, how will they feel if their players were winning and everybody else said, okay, you know what, we're not attending. We don't want to be part of this thing anymore.